Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitch options for your 2011 Dodge Durango. The main difference between all of our hitches here is we are going to have a hidden style, which is going to be the Draw-Tite up here. Right here we're going to have another Draw-Tite, and then right below that we're going to have a Curt. Now the nice thing about the one on top here, if you notice, you are going to have a small door on the bottom of your fascia on your Durango. Well, that's because it's meant to have a hitch behind it, and we're going to be able to cover it up when we're not towing. The other two are going to sit right below the fascia, which kind of defeats the purpose of having the door in the first place. Because the hitch is going to sit behind the fascia, we are going to have to remove it as well as do a little bit of trimming in order to get our hitch installed. Now I know that sounds like a big hassle and some of you don't want to mess with that, but it's not as bad as you would think. Now if you don't want to remove the fascia and you don't want to do any kind of trimming, the two hitches that are going to sit below our fascia are not going to require any of that. It's just a few simple bolts and they'll be in place. If you plan on using your hitch for a bike rack or a cargo carrier, ground clearance is definitely going to be a concern. Our Draw-Tite with the hidden cross tube is going to provide you with the most ground clearance, and overall it's going to be a little bit more than 4 inches over the other two. However, both the ones that sit below the fascia are going to give you a decent amount of ground clearance because our Durango does sit rather high. When talking about clearances, another thing to keep in mind is the relation between the hitch pin hole itself and the outer edge of the bumper. Because whenever we're looking at folding accessories, we don't want that bike rack or cargo carrier to come in contact with our bumper. Our Draw-Tite that's going to sit right below our bumper is going to give us the most clearance. It's going to push those accessories out just a little bit, giving us that much more clearance. Along with recreational use like our bike rack or cargo carrier, you might want to do some towing, so weight rating is definitely going to be a question. Both of our Draw-Tites are going to have a 900-pound tongue weight, which is going to be the maximum force at the receiver tube. And they're both going to have a 6,000-pound gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount that it can pull, including the trailer and everything loaded on it. Now they're both designed to work with weight distribution systems as well, which is going to be a separate component that's on your trailer. And that's going to keep the tongue weight at the same rating, but it's going to jump the gross trailer weight rating up to 7,500 pounds. Our Curt is going to be rated slightly lower. It's going to have a 600-pound tongue weight along with a 6,000-pound gross trailer weight rating. Now it is designed to work with weight distributions as well, and it's going to jump the tongue weight up to 750 pounds and the gross trailer weight rating up to 7,500 pounds. Now with all those numbers in mind, you always want to double check your Durango's owner's manual and make sure you don't exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. Now, a few minor differences between all three of our hitches is going to be the safety chain connection points. The Curt is going to have a plate style on the bottom, and while this is a rather large hook, you can see we're still going to have room, but getting it on and off may be a little bit more difficult because of the size. If we move up to our Draw-Tite that's going to sit below our fascia, we can see that it has a much larger opening, and even this large hook isn't having too much trouble moving around, getting it on or off. And then the Draw-Tite that's going to be hidden behind the bumper, it's going to have a loop style, giving us even more room. We're not going to have to worry about pretty much any size hook getting on the safety chain connection point. Now one thing that's exclusive to the Draw-Tite that's going to sit below our fascia is you'll notice that it has a secondary hole just behind the hitch pin hole. And that's going to be designed to work with the J-pin stabilization device. Now the way that's going to work is it's going to have a threaded section that's going to go in through the standard hitch pin hole. And this J part is going to go into the secondary hole and apply pressure to the accessory so it won't have that rattling when we're going down the road. And it's also a locking device, so we're going to be able to keep all of our accessories nice and secure. Now this item is sold separately. One last feature both of our Draw-Tites are going to have is they're going to have this electrical bracket welded just to the left of our receiver tube. So if later on down the road we decide to add a brake controller and a 7-way, we're going to have a nice spot to mount it right up, and it'll be ready when we hook up to our trailer. So to sum everything up, if appearance is a big concern of yours, I would definitely go with the Draw-Tite with the hidden cross tube. It's not going to change the look of our Durango when we're not towing because we're actually going to be able to use the door for what it was intended for. If ease of installation is a big concern of yours, the Curt or the Draw-Tite that's going to sit below the bumper definitely is going to be easier to install because we're not going to have to do any kind of trimming or remove the fascia. If you're going to be doing a lot of towing, I would go with either one of the Draw-Tites because they're both going to have increased weight capacities. If you're using it for a recreational purpose, again I would pick one of the Draw-Tites. The hidden tube Draw-Tite is going to bring our accessory farther up and give us better ground clearance, but the Draw-Tite that's going to sit right below the bumper is going to bring our accessory further away from our bumper, giving us better clearance. If it were me looking for a hitch, I would definitely go with the Draw-Tite that's going to be hidden behind our bumper. Not only is it going to give us that extra ground clearance because it's not below our bumper and it's going to look the nicest, but it's also going to have that increased weight rating. So overall, I think it's just really a good hitch no matter what you're going to be using it for. Now that'll finish up the look at the best hitch options for your Dodge Durango.